Imagine being lost in the mountains of the Dominican Republic after dark. No trail, no signal, no sound except insects and your own breathing. And then suddenly you find footprints, bare human footprints, small, clean, fresh, the kind that instantly make you feel less alone because somebody else is out there, somebody alive, so you follow them. At first, nothing feels wrong. The footprints keep appearing every few feet, always just ahead of you, always leading deeper into the jungle. And then something strange starts happening. The forest gets quieter, not calmer, quieter. The insects stop first, then the frogs, then even the wind through the trees disappears, like the jungle itself is listening. And that's when you finally notice it. The footprints are backwards, the toes are pointing toward you, which means the person making them was never walking away, she was walking toward you. And by the time people realize that, by the time they understand what they're looking at, they're already too deep in the mountains to get back out. They call her the Ciguapa. And according to the old mountain villages, there are places in the Dominican Republic where people still disappear after hearing a woman cry in the trees at dusk. Tonight I'm going to tell you why. This is the Caribbean Black Book. Listen carefully. The rules matter. The Ciguapa is older than almost everything else in this book. Older than slavery, older than colonization, older than the countries themselves. She comes from the Taino, the indigenous people who live on these islands long before Europeans arrived. And unlike most Caribbean folklore, the Ciguapa was never driven out. That's important because most creatures in Caribbean folklore feel like reactions to violence, to colonialism, to suffering. But the Ciguapa feels different. She feels ancient, like something that belonged to the mountains before human beings ever tried to claim them. The descriptions are always almost identical. Tall woman, golden brown skin, hair so long and thick it covers her entire body like clothing, and feet turned completely backwards. Toes behind her, heels in front. But according to the old stories, the feet are not the worst part. It's the voice. People say she cries like someone hurt, not screaming, not monstrous, soft, almost human. The kind of crying that makes decent people stop walking and listen. And that's the trap, because the moment you start trying to help her, she starts leading you somewhere. The older hunters say the mountains change around her. Trails stop making sense. Distances stretch. Rivers appear where there shouldn't be rivers. People walk in circles for hours without realizing it. And some of them never come back. The strangest part, almost nobody claims she attacks them directly. Instead, people say the mountains do it for her. Cliffs, ravines, floodwater, falls, as if she only needs to get you lost long enough for the jungle to finish the job. In 1992, a hunter named Mateo went into the Cordillera Central tracking wild boar. He knew those mountains. He'd hunted there since he was a teenager. People trusted him enough to guide outsiders through trails most tourists never even saw. But sometime after sunset, Mateo realized he had gone too far in, and then he heard crying, very faint, a woman somewhere beyond the trees. Mateo stopped walking, listened. The crying stopped too, then started again farther away, like whoever was making the sound was moving. That's when he found the footprints. Small, bare footprints in wet mud, leading deeper into the jungle. Mateo later told his brother something strange about them bothered him immediately, but he couldn't explain what. So he followed them. For almost 20 minutes, the crying stayed just ahead of him. Never closer, never farther, always just out of sight. Then suddenly everything went silent. No insects, no river, no leaves moving, nothing. Mateo looked down at the footprints again. This time he crouched beside them, studying them carefully, and finally he understood what his brain had been trying to warn him about. The mud at the heels was pushed forward. The mud at the toes dragged backward. Whoever made those prints had been walking backward the entire time. Mateo looked up just in time to see long black hair falling through the trees toward him, not climbing, not jumping, dropping, like it had been waiting above him the entire night. Mateo swung his machete blindly and ran. Branches tore his skin open. He fell twice. At one point he swore he heard barefoot steps running beside him in the darkness, even though nothing was there. And every few minutes he heard the crying again, closer now, almost excited. The next morning, 2 boys found Mateo sitting waist deep in a river, miles away from the trail, still holding the machete, still staring into the trees. And according to both boys, he kept looking upward, like he thought something was still watching him from the canopy. Mateo survived, but after that night, he never spoke another word again, not once. The mountain villagers still teach 2 rules. Rule 1, never look into her eyes. The stories say the moment you do, you stop wanting to leave. People describe it like deep water. You know it's dangerous. You know you should look away. But something inside you keeps leaning closer. And once she has your attention, she can lead you anywhere. Off cliffs, into ravines, into rivers. Rule 2, never follow crying in the mountains after sunset, especially if you also find footprints, because according to the old hunters, by the time you hear her voice, she has already chosen you. And if you ever hear crying above you instead of ahead of you, run. Don't look up, just run. The Dominican mountains are beautiful during the day. Tourists hike the rivers, photograph waterfalls, talk about how peaceful everything feels. But the people who actually grew up there know something outsiders don't. Some places in those mountains still feel occupied. Not haunted, occupied. Like something ancient is still living there quietly, waiting for night, waiting for people who don't understand where they are. And the older people will tell you something else too. The mountains were never ours. We were the ones passing through. She was already there. And according to the story, she still is. So if you ever hear a woman crying somewhere deep in the Dominican jungle after dark, don't follow the sound, don't follow the footprints, and whatever you do, don't look up into the trees. That was page 6 of the Caribbean Black Book. If this is your first entry, the full playlist is on screen now, and subscribe before the next page opens, because there are still stories hidden across the Caribbean most people have never heard. I'll see you in the next one.